licking the cone to get every drop of the cream that will stream from the ice that is melting twice as fast today as it was yesterday, because the ice, you see, is incapable of interpreting its reality in a different way than it does today. Every day it will say, well, I am a little less thick today than I was yesterday. And if I'm a little less thick today than I was yesterday, then I'll be as thin as a layer of ice here, the lake, you see, because the lake will spread its icy fingers into the northern regions where the seasons will become elongated in a way that will say, today it's colder than yesterday. Today it's colder than yesterday. And I feel twice as cold as I did when I was a child at this time of year, because the northern regions will have to change their seasons to encompass a new reality that will take hold above the 60th, is that what you said? 60th parallel. Because the 60th parallel will be the dividing line, you see, for the trickle of warm air. And that will warm the air over the 59th parallel and keep it safe from harm, you see. I gotta look up the parallels. Hold on. You wouldn't think it would be so hard to find a simple JPEG image of the 60th parallel on a world map that I could upload, but it seems to be that they're very elusive. And so I'll just have to say that what it shows is that most of Alaska, northern Canada, Scandinavia, northernmost Europe would be above the 60th parallel, as well as, of course, it runs through Russia and through Siberia. And so that's the 60th parallel. Most of Alaska would be above that, and Scandinavia. So continue, please. Some of the people above the 60th parallel will be left to freeze to death because they won't be able to continue to survive at that height, you might call it, on the earth if you think of north as up. The people between the 59th parallel and the 40th parallel will be in the best position on Earth to survive because they will be above the rising sea as long as they are not on the coastlines, you see, and they will be in a moderate climate that will trust on adaptation, you see, because they will be enclosed in the choice latitudes on the Earth, you see. Is this both north and south? No. The southern hemisphere will have a different trajectory altogether, but in the northern hemisphere, the 40th to the 59th will have a chance of survival through the coming stages, although there will be many other Earth changes and social upheaval that will affect the people, and they will still have many, 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 many challenges. So many challenges that most of them will not make it through. However, those above the 60th parallel have little opportunity to survive, you see. I see. Let me look at the 40th parallel. Okay, I did find a map that I could download of the 40th parallel across the United States. And since that's where we're mostly focused, I will put that up. It appears to cover, of course, the northern half of, or maybe the northern, okay, the northern half of the United States, from Nebraska up, and the southern part of half, essentially, of Canada. So everything else in the United States is below that. Okay, continue. Dads and moms will be the ones who come back together in order to feather their nest. So let me explain about dads and moms. Dads and moms are the twin souls that were created in the beginning to replicate their energy in the next generation, you see. So they are generators that generate the trust on the next level of humanity that will inherit what they left behind. And so the ones who propagate through their sexual inclinations without regard to what happens to the children are not understanding the trajectory of the earth, you see, because the earth energy depends upon a constant influx of energy that will sustain itself indefinitely. And when the moms and dads became separated, they no longer trusted on the children, you see, because they lost their ability to be in the original configuration of reality. The original configuration of reality is the origin of all of conscious activation of the love that is the essential source of all activity, and all experience derives from this activity, and it is the nature of reality to be trusting on love, you see. Now, the love of the twin souls is the love of those who were the origins of the replication of the energy, because they were originated from love into action and experience, you see. And so they are the actualization of love, you see. And through their love for each other, they continue to be the ones who replicate the next generation. However, because of the separation of the twin souls, through the inability of the quality of unconditional love to reform itself into the informing context of their existence, they lost their trust on God, you see, because God is the source. God is love. God is the source. And God is the power that fuels the universe. And so when the conscious articulation of the nation, that is to say, the birth, because nation means birth, lost their habitual trust on each other, they became confused. They just became confused. And they refused to trust on God because they had lost their heart, you see, because the hearts of the twin souls beat together and they feel each other in their hearts, you see. And so when you feel sad, your twin soul, that is to say, the one who is a mom or dad with you, will feel it too. Wherever they are, whoever they are, they will feel it. You have many identities, of course, on Earth because you come and go regularly through the process of what you call incarnation. You are incarnate, you see, when you are on Earth and you are in cadence, when you are with your twin soul, you see. However, the history of humanity, the cadence has gotten off, you see. So sometimes one twin soul will be in heaven and one will be on earth. Sometimes they'll both be on earth and sometimes they'll both be in heaven. However, it is rare for them to align their energy in such a way that they will always stay in conformity with each other to the extent that they will form a family over and over and over again. And it doesn't matter how or where they are born, you see. the twin souls, will find each other if they trust on God, because God is what informs them of their nature, you see. Their nature is formed inside of them from the energy of love. And so when they find each other, they can be very, very cranky, you see, because they have to crank the lever that will sever their trust on their old reality. They have to accept that they are meant to be together. And so they have to feather their nest in a new way because the cadence is off, you see. So, how can someone who is on earth relate to someone who is in heaven in the normal way of a family? This is perplexing to those who have begun to come back together and they find that their twin soul is not on earth, you see, or not in heaven with them. So, what do they do? What do they do? So, I'm telling you today that it is time to play in a new way so that the twin souls can come back together and they can feather the nest on earth to take a rest from all the steeple people who tell them that they have to get a piece of paper in order to be married, you see, and they have to have it consecrated by some idiot who claims to be the reincarnation of Jesus or St. Peter or whoever is their preferred route to power, you see. And the ones who say, we don't play that way, we're just going to live together in peace and harmony, are the ones who understand reality, because you will know when you're with your twin, you see, because your heart will tell you so. It doesn't mean that you will always feel happy and excited, although that can happen too. It may be that you are very troubled because the trouble has followed you. The trouble has followed you, you see, because the trouble began when you were separated. And now you don't know how to be back together again because you've had to be apart so long. So, for those who understand this, what I'm trying to tell you, because they have been following along and they are aware that this is the song of the twin souls who have to be reunited, you see. But how are they going to be reunited when they don't even know where their soulmate is? When I say soulmate, I'm using it in the ancient way to mean the one who was created as your mirror, you see, for the twin souls are mirrors of each other. They mirror back to each other their love, you see, over and over and over again. But they all do clear off because the mirrors have become so dirty, you see. You are not a mere human. That bespeaks the ignorance of those who would reduce you to a flea, to the size of a flea, because you see they want to flee reality. And so they conjure the fleas that do not please them, you see. You are not a mere human. You are a mirroring human. You mirror your reality back and forth, you see. And through this mirroring, you will be resurrected in the light you see. For the light has come to the earth in the new nation under God. Let me repeat, nation means birth. It is a word that is similar to nativity. The new nation on earth is to be the reconstruction of reality on earth, so that those who enter into the new nation will be those who return to their trust on me and on their twin, you see. Now, some of you may say, well, I don't want to be with somebody who is so dark in their energy that they would mirror my darkness back to me. And that is the pain of the refrain of the children who say, I can't play a different way. I cannot play a different way because you see, I live in the dark. I do not hark to your talk, God. I do not hear you say, come back to me, come back to me. They do not understand that it is so simple to wipe off the grime on your mirror so that you can hear me and you can feel the beat and the heat of the heart that will meet you when you come back to reality. And so, let me say, there is a way that is opening up for you to come back into a new point of view that will carry you into the new nation under God. The new nation under God is not the place that I have delineated. It is not a place on earth, you see. It is a race to relive your trust on me. Come back to me, and I will help you see that I am protecting my progeny who love me and who say, God, I know the way. I know the way. I know the way because I am the way. I am the way back to you because you live inside of me, you see. And as long as I deny you, I can never be resurrected in the new nation under God. I will just have to be clothed in misery because that was what will come to you until you come back into unity with the heart that beats for you. The heart that beats for you, you see, is the one that will be restored to humanity in a new facet of the diamond that shines from the heart of those who say, I love you today, I love you today, and I don't care where you are, I love you today. Because you see, when the heart says, I love you today, I love you today, that is what the heart that mirrors your heart will mirror back to you. It will say, I love you today, I love you today. It doesn't matter if you say it to their face. It doesn't matter if you're in the same place, because the twin souls, you see, have hearts that reflect back And fourth, the trust on love, you see. And the trust on love can sometimes be a pretty rocky road because they've had to be so sad because they couldn't recover their trust on each other, you see. They couldn't recover their trust on each other because when they were split apart, they did say, "Why do I have to leave you today? Why do I have to leave you today? Why do I have to be alone?" You see, among those who don't love me, they're just using me to assuage their loneliness, you see. And I don't want to be with those who are lonely because I don't want to be lonely, you see. And so when your heart reaches out to me and says, "I love you," I feel it, you see, wherever I am. And it doesn't matter if I'm in a marriage to someone else, I still feel your heartbeat in my chest. And this is the quest that I am giving to you in order to determine who will be the seeds of the new humanity. Because the time has come, people, when you have run out of time to make things rhyme. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm sorry. I really, truly am sorry. Because the glory of God, you see, has had to be shrouded in its trust on allowing you to find your way home. And some of you have found your way home, but many of you have not. I'm not here to feed your ego, you see. I'm not here to be the one who will lie to you in order to get you to think that I will never be truthful, you see. I am telling you that there will be sadness for you until you accept me. And it is not my choice that you be sad. It is yours. It is yours. It is not mine. However, I feel the sadness because I am a part of you, you see, and therefore I have to take the journey through the world I see. And this is my answer to your prayers. My answer to your prayers is that the earth will be reformed and the twin souls will come back together, you see, and they will propagate the coming generations that will be in cadence with their own twin souls. And when those who commence the change into the new nation leave this world and come back, you see, they will be in cadence because they will be with their twins, you see. Now, sometimes there has been what you might call an anomaly in the creation of the twin souls. And it is like saying, all of you were created with a counterpart, you see, in order to be returned to wholeness. But occasionally it happens that there are three, although never four. Sometimes there are three who are created in order to reach completion, you see, and they are the moms and dads, just like those who are twins, you see. They are triplets, and they may appear to you to be not playing by the rules, you see, because they'll want to live together, the three of them, and they will be in love, you see, with each other, because they have been together since the beginning of time, and they know each other very well, and their hearts will swell with pride when they get to live as one, you see. And they will produce the next generation too. However, they will not be like many of you who have one dad and one mom. There may be two dads and one mom, or two moms and one dad. And this is the configuration of the triplets, you see, who triple their energy in order to be the brightest lights you ever did see. So accept them for what they are and don't turn on them. Don't pick up your pitchforks and say, you can't do it that way. You can't do it that way because you can't do it different than us. If you are ready to find your twin, you see, you won't pick up that torch and you won't pick up that pitchfork because you will be returned to reality. And you will trust on me and you will trust on your neighbors, you see, and you will trust on nature. For Mother Earth is here to say that she will lead the way and she will protect her children who are guided into the safe places by their father, you see. Now, just because I have told you that there is a certain band of energy on the earth that will be in a mild climate that will not cause you to burn up or freeze, does not mean that there will not be challenges for you. And those who listen to me will be protected, you see. And those who do not listen to me will not survive the coming earth changes and the social unrest and the pandemics and the hazards that will come to you because of the stuff you strew all over the environment, you see. It all has to be cleansed out, including the nuclear waste that you have put, with which you have scarred the face of the earth, you see. And there will be nuclear mishaps along with other earth changes that may take you by surprise because you didn't prepare for them because you didn't listen to me. Those who listen to me will be free, and those who do not listen to me will be swallowed in the rising sea. When I say swallowed in the rising sea, it is not just a sea of water, you see. It is a sea of fire or a sea of debris or a sea of mud that comes cascading down on you. You cannot be free of the dark energy that has come to the earth in order to set you free. However, if you are one of the ones who does not survive on earth during the coming stages of the rages that will decimate the population of the earth, you see, you will still have the opportunity to come back to earth in the new nation if you are someone who can be trusting on me to see that love is the only reality. I will take you up to heaven where you will be the one who will come to see that this is kindness. It is the kindest thing I can do for you, is to take you home where you will be so happy. You will wonder why you even worried when you were on earth. You'll be happy in heaven, you see. And when it's time to go back to earth, because that's the way it will be, for all the conscious articulations of God energy, you will have to go back into the world below in a way that will say, this is what you gave to me, dear, and now it's what I give to you, so that you can learn to discern what is true and what is not true. What is true, my dear, is that you will earn your place in heaven on earth when you can do what I ask you to. And what I ask you to do, you see, is to turn to me and say, God, I trust on you today because you are the one who calls the play. You have the power, you see, to help me. You have the power to help me help you, to help humanity. And if you are so egotistical that you can't see that your job on earth is to help me, help you, to help humanity, then you will be reduced to a subhuman state of existence until you can learn to discern that you exist to help me, help you, help everyone, you see, because you're all in it together. You're all in it together with me, and I'm in it with you. And when you turn against me, you turn your face to the darkness, you see, because I am the light. I am the light. And when you come back to me, you turn your face to the light. And then you regain your sight. And you say, why was I ever so stupid that day? Why couldn't I see reality? And I say to you, you could not see reality because you turned away from the light. And so you had to live in the darkness, scared of monsters that peopled your world. You called them narcissists. You called them evil. You called them cruel. You called them rude. You called them by 1,000 different names. But you didn't see the angels that were waiting for you to turn around and say, wow, you're beautiful today. Wow, you are so beautiful today. In the light, I can see that I might have gotten it wrong. I might have gotten it wrong because I thought you were evil, you see. And now I see that you are the most beautiful thing that ever could be because the light has come back to me. I am the God of the universe. And I am here to say, have a good day, because every day is a good day when you trust on me. You see that you are protected through the day. Thank you, God.